This is a photo of my great-great-great-great-grandfather, Matis Kushner, born around 1819 in Daugavpils, Latvia. But I didn't acquire this photo easily by having it handed down to me or finding it in some hidden archive. This photo came after years and years of a lot of hard work, persistence, and confusion. Descendants of Matis emigrated all over the world. They came to the United States, France, Azerbaijan, Argentina, and even Uruguay. Some of these descendants include a famous boxing promoter, a prominent French politician, and a genealogist who likes posting videos on YouTube. The Kushner line is probably one of my best researched lines, and I've continued to grow it and build it over a long period of time. So today on Genealogy is Fun, we're going to be taking a deep dive into my Kushner family of Daugavpils, Latvia. The first time I knew of the Kushner name was from my grandmother, Joan Kushner, who is a wonderful person. She taught me a lot about living a modest and chilled out life, and she continues to still influence me to this day. Her parents were Max Kushner and Sadie Lifshin. Max, a Matt Damon lookalike, whose Hebrew name was also Matis, emigrated with his family from Vilnius, Lithuania in the year 1905, and he was one of 11 siblings, 4 of whom died as children. I actually met my great-grandparents, Max and Sadie, when I was a child, though they died when I was respectively 5 and 6 years old, so all I remember of them is that I met them. Max's parents were Reuben Kushner and Julia Sorokin. Reuben was a tailor, and some discerning viewers might recognize him in the profile picture for this YouTube channel. He was born around 1872 in Daugavpils, Latvia, the second of 6 children, and his older brother Moshe Leib died in Europe. However, some of his other siblings emigrated to other countries. So one of his brothers ended up in Los Angeles, and another one ended up in South Africa. Which takes us back another generation, and that is Reuben's parents, Yehuda Yitzchak Kushner and Sora. Now, not a whole lot is known about Yehuda Yitzchak, but he does show up on a couple of census records. So there's an 1875 family list in Daugavpils, and also he shows up in the 1897 Russian Empire census. And from that 1897 census, we know that his occupation was a barber. And he had a younger brother who was also a barber, which makes me wonder whether or not that was the family business and that maybe their father, Matis, was a barber. Now, Yehuda Yitzchak was the oldest of 9 children. And out of these 9 children, I've managed to trace 6 of them, which is pretty good considering they were all born after the year 1870. And one of these siblings, Moshe Shmuel, who also went by the name Samuel, emigrated to France, and unfortunately, he and his wife were deported to Auschwitz in 1944 and subsequently murdered. And it was this branch of the family that ended up helping solve the mystery of the Kushners, because I DNA matched with one of Samuel's great-grandchildren, and by connecting with them, I was able to get a hold of this photo, and then subsequently, I did a lot of research and submitted a research request to the Latvian State Archives, where they were able to confirm a lot of the research that I did, plus give me some extra pieces of information. One of those new bits of information was the name of my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, Mattis's father, Nisan Kushner. That's right, a guy born well in the 1700s. And not a whole lot is known about him, except that he had at least 2 sons in Daugavpils. Now, there are probably a handful of you who are dying to know if my Kushner family is related to a certain infamous Kushner who used to show up a lot on the news. And the answer to that is an unequivocal no. This is because Kushner is an occupational surname for people who worked in the fur trade. So it's a common surname that shows up in a lot of different towns and a lot of different places. And just because 2 people have that last name does not mean that they're related. And that concludes this video. If you liked it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.